He's off on his quest. He's relentless. He's on the hunt right now as we speak, protecting this yard. It's Dan the Man on a chilly November morning. What you looking for, Danny? What are you looking for, Danny? What are you finding, Danny? Morning, everybody. My name's Bill, and that is Danny. This is Pirate Solutions Forestry, and we got a pretty big one up on the mill. It's been an eventful few days. We're hanging rafters trying to get the structure done on Brian Carroll's pole barn, and Brian did a little bit of a change on the overhang, and that left 6 of our rafters too short. So he's going to use them for headers, or a couple of them for headers, in the front side of the pole barn that faces the horse pasture corral. And he'll do something with the rest of them, but he wants me to cut him 6 more rafters that are longer. And I was out scouring the mill yard, and I was going to have to cut down some kind of long logs and cut them one at a time, but I had this big beast sitting up there. It's a beautiful log. I've been kind of saving it for just the right circumstance, and I think this is the circumstance, because if I do this correctly, and I'm going to show you how I map this out, I can get all 6 of them out of this one log. They're 4 by 8 by 14.9 is what this log is. I need 14.6. And the log, I'm going to show you in a second, is not big enough for a 16-inch cant, but I think I can get a 16 by 12 cant out of it, while trying to keep an eye on Nut Job, who was out on the hunt this morning. I loaded up a trailer, I'll show you that too, with all Brian sheathing for the outside of the pole barn and all the purlins, because I didn't know when I was going to be able to get to this part, but he wants to keep working on the structure even when I can't be there. So it makes no sense for me to ship that trailer out of here without these rafters on it. So I'm going to cut them, and I'm going to get them on that trailer. We also have a couple of other orders that I think we can cut some boards out of for this. I've got an order for 10 2x10s by 12. So even though this is over 14, I think I can take some 2x10s out of this too. And when we map out the end, we'll take a look at that and see how it's going to work out. So I'm going to take you down the end of this log, and we are going to map out the end of this log and how I think it's going to work out to cut 6 wane-free 4x8s out of it. So let's take a look. So I apologize for the tight quarters here, but it's a big ass log. What I'm going to do is I'm going to measure this log out, and we're going to take the widest dimension. We're going to try to make that our 16. And we're going to take our narrowest dimension. We're going to try and make that our 12. And then we're going to see, well, we're going to draw that cant out on here, and it really needs to be 16 1/8 by 12. Then I will cut down 4 inches just to split the 12 inches at 8 4. And the width of the rafter isn't super critical. So if they end up 3 7/8, that's fine. But the only thing that I have to be concerned with is that they're all sound. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take a couple dimensions here. So it's 20 inside the bark here, and it's 19 inside the bark up and down. At 20, that's only going to create a 14-inch cant. If the biggest square that you can fit into a circle is 0.70711 of the circle, or we just use 70%. So at 70%, the 20-inch dimension will only make a 14-inch cant. But what we're going to do is we're going to shrink our cant to 16 by 12. And if there's a teeny little bit of wane on them, that'll be fine. There's going to be no wane down there. And a little bit is going to come off this this rafter when we cut it, because it needs the plumb cuts, 18.6 degree plumb cuts on it. So you can kind of, if you have a little bit of wane, you can use that plumb cut to get rid of a little bit of it on this end. And obviously that end is going to be wane free. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our dimension here. So this is 20. We're going to go to 10. And since this is going to be our big dimension, I'm going to come out 8 to 18. This way. And over to 2 over here. And that should be 16. That is. And we are going to draw ourselves a couple of plumb vertical lines here, in hopes that this straight line right here is 12 inches long. Now, it's probably not going to be, but it's going to be close enough for what we're doing. It's actually fairly close. And then out here, same thing. Obviously, we're going to cut this when we set our final width. We'll cut it at 16 1/8. So we get 2 8-inchers. And then we're going to do the same thing for our 12-inch dimension here. So we're going to go, we're going to call this 19. So we're going to go 9 1/2, which is right dead in the center of the log, right where the pith is. Got my sunglasses on here, so because it is going to get bright here shortly, and of course I can't see very well with them on. We're going to come up 6 here, and then we're going to come down 6 here. These are just very general lines. Obviously, we're going to start at 1, and then we're going to use our sawmill to set the width. And then we're going to draw a couple of horizontal level lines here. I can see my bubble with my sunglasses on. And these don't have to be perfect. It's just a guide to get us working out from the center of the log as close as we possibly can. So that's going to be that one. And then this one's going to be about right here. Again, it's just a general guide. I know that my level's moving around, but that doesn't matter because we're going to work off this line first. And then when we get to this point, we're going to be using our scale. And the same thing, we're going to cut this line second. And then when we get to this line, we're going to be using our scale. And let's just see, for the fun of it, how close we're going to get here. Now, it does not look like we are going to get my 2x material out of this that I need. I'm going to cut a 2x out of it anyway, but it does not look like we're going to get the 2x10s that we need. So this line over here is just over 10. This line over here is right at 12. So there is going to be a teeny little bit of wane here or down here. I'm not sure which side yet. It looks like this line's going to be clean, and there's going to be a teeny little bit of wane right on this corner. It doesn't make any sense for me to go ahead and lay anything else out. I mean, these two are just straight one-cut slab cuts, and they're going to be big and heavy because of the taper of the log, but they're just slab cuts. There's nothing else there. These ones, I will be able to steal something out of here and out of here. I just don't know what that's going to be till we get cutting it. So that's how I'm going to start, and let's see what we can do with this big thing and see if we can get it knocked out before lunch here. All right, so I'm going to give you that view over there just so you can watch me kind of work. I do have some sawhorses set up over there, so any flitches that I take off, they're going to be so big and heavy that I don't want to just throw them on the ground and then have to wrestle them out of sawdust later. So I got some sawhorses over there to put stuff up. I'll fast forward through kind of like my slab moving crap, I guess. This log is a little bit dirty. It's going to take a toll on the band, but we're going to start cutting it apart. And at least I'll take you through what makes sense to me in my head. And hopefully this comes apart great and we accomplish our goal here. It does look like on our map out that there aren't going to be any problems with doing this. So I guess the biggest challenge is it's a huge log. It's going to be hard to turn, and we got to be moving big, huge pieces by ourselves here, and that's going to be challenging to do too, whilst keeping an eye on Danny. So let's get working on it, and I'll walk you through as we go. So we're going to come up to our top line here that we made, and that's right there. That's 19 and a half. I'm just going to make it 19 and a half. I'm going to go ahead and score a mark on there. I'm going to come up 2 inches to 21 and a half and see what that looks like. See if we can steal a 2x. It almost looks like we're going to get a 2x10 out of this. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it anyway. And hopefully we can steal a 2x10 out of this. It's going to be close. It's not going to be a good 2x10. But it may be a good 2x10 at 12 feet. Let's take a look. It's not very good. It's not very good. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down inch and inch. See if I can steal some barn board out of this. I should have taken that higher to get the true 1 inch. I'm going to come down 3/4 on this next cut and turn this into a kind of a second slab cut. And then, so I could take 1 1/8, come down 1 1/8 to make my cut to 19 and a half so that I get a true 1 inch second board that I can use for my barn board order over there. They'll make one anyway. So we're 21 and a half. We got to come. So if we were at 19 and a half, we're going to come to 20 and 5/8, and we're going to take another slab cut, and that's going to leave us 1 inch for our next board. Getting any water here. Danny, come down out of there. Come out of there now. Come on. Come on. So we're going to treat that like a slab cut. Now we got a nice wide board for a true 1 inch. We're going to come right to 19 and a half and cut it again. This side will be done. All right, now that I got Danny back, let's make this cut. All right, I'm just going to take this 1-inch board off, throw it on the sawhorse to be edged off later, and that side is done. And we're just kind of doing this one side at a time here. When we flip this up, the next side's really only going to be one slab cut, I believe. So now we're going to see if we can spin this big girl. All right, actually spun it up pretty easy. One of the reasons why is I really have the heavy fat side down towards the turner, and that does make a difference. I'm going to take a couple measurements quick, make sure I'm fairly centered here. And then we're going to take this slab cut off and we're going to spin it again. This is the easy one. So it's about 24 high here. Should be about the same down here. Yeah, about 25 here. No need for any additional leveling. And after this turn, the leveling goes away. We put our toe boards down and cut everything on the bunks from there out. So let's fire up and we'll make our top cut here. You can see my line. Yep. We can get ourselves a little bit additional throat support now. Oh, I almost nailed it. 21. Nope, just a shade lower. Right there. It's 20 3/4. We're going to go ahead and cut it right there and get this big heavy slab cut off. We are running that same Stella Cut bim we've been running, and it's cutting beautifully right now. Keep your fingers crossed. Now we're going to spin it and we're going to set our width in this direction, however that worked out. I think this was the, oh, that's the 16 dimension. So this is the 12 dimension. So we're going to see if we can steal something, get it to our 12. All right, we're going to fire up. We're going to score a mark at 12 and then see if we can steal something above it. Hopefully we can get something out of it. This log was almost made, its size, its length, and everything was almost made like God knew it was going to get turned into rafters for this job. And 6 of them. So we're going to come down to 12. I'm going to come up 2 to 14. So this does, Danny. Oh, I see you. I see you. So this does look like we could get a 2x10 out of it. So I'm going to cut it right here. I will tell you, after making that cut, I didn't have a lot down there, but down here I probably had enough room to get a 1x board out of that too. So I should have taken a 1x out of it as well, but ship sailed now. So we're going to take our 2x off this right now. That's going to get rid of most of the wane that you see on the top over there. And like I said, I think we're going to end up with one rafter that's got some wane on it. I think everything else is going to be clean. At least that's the hope anyway. So let's pull a 2-inch off this and get her stowed. And then we got a decision to make based on wane. We could go and just cut this thing right in half at 8. No, I'm sorry. We're not 12 dimension. We're not going to block it up yet. We're going to flip it up. We'll cut it at 16 1/8. Then split it in half, then flip it on its side, and we'll just make 2 cuts to finish it out. And we'll see if I can manhandle this big slab over onto these sawhorses. So far, this is working out great right now. And we are going to be at the mercy of the next turn to see how this is all going to play out. Right now, we got a nice clean corner. And if I had my tape measure, I could measure and see how close we're going to be here, but we'll just flip it up and cut it and see what happens. It looks like, just based on my line, that it's going to be just how I thought. It's going to be, one of these is going to have some wane on it, and the rest of them I think are going to cut out nice. It appears to be nice and square. I think we did a good job here, guys. This is going to be a straight slab cut. I'm going to take it at 16 1/8. And it is right on our line, pretty much. Looks like it's going to come out just how I thought, pretty much. It's actually two rafters are going to have wane on them, not just one. 2 are, but minimal wane. It should be perfectly fine. If you don't want to see it inside the pole barn, then just turn that wane up under the roof. And I think what makes most sense right now is we'll drop down and split this right in half at 8. I wish this wane was on the other side to give me clearance for that. I'll guarantee that corner is going to be in the way a little bit. I might have to shove this over a teeny bit. I don't know if I'm going to have quite enough clearance to drop 8 over there with that sharp corner. Well, let's find out. This is so heavy that it wouldn't be a problem either way. Just going to make sure that I'm going to clear my stops. All right, let's see if we're going to clear at 8. It's going to be tight. 8 is my max that I can drop and have clearance. If that corner doesn't hit, we're good. It's gonna rub, but I think we're okay. It's cut right on the line that we made. Two more cuts and we are all good. Now, I'm gonna have to do a little handwork here, I think. And we'll get her shoved over tight, get everything all the way down, perfectly square on the sides, so we'll be able to get the stops, and then we just got to make two cuts, and we have all our rafters. All we have to do is make a cut at 8 and 4, and these top two rafters right here are the only ones that are going to have any weight on them. It's just a little bit, won't be any problem at all. I do want to say, when I said that you could put that wane up, that's going to depend on the crown. If they're crowned the other way, the wane's going to have to face down. Still won't be a problem either way. And there we are. There we are, the 6 rafters that we needed. If I look down this one, I just want to see. Yeah, so the crown is in the middle. So this wane on this side of this one rafter here is going to face down. I assume the other one's going to be the same way if they kind of bowed opposite. It's just a teeny little bit. I mean, the center almost lines up perfect. But we could throw those in somewhere in the middle of the building. It's way overbuilt. But now we got all these. Now all I have to do is get rid of my slab wood. I have to get these stowed on the trailer somehow. I'm going to have to make room. I didn't anticipate they were going to be on there. So I'm going to get these put on the trailer, and I have to edge off those two. And this afternoon, I think it's going to become firewood cutting today. I got to cut up all my edging stuff over here. What I have from edgings off of these, get all that in my campwood bins, and I got to run a bunch of firewood in the house. So let's do an outro. So that's going to do it for us this morning. That log mapped out great. I think the way that it cut out, I wasted one by just one by the whole thing. But to get that job off my plate right now, with as busy as I am, having to jump the line and get it out, for him as fast as possible. He wants to finish his pole barn before the end of December, and I'm just not available to go over and do that every day when he wants. So by doing this and getting all his wood to him, he can work on it as he sees fit. Now, there's a possibility this weekend we have the Veterans Christmas parade coming up. So the wife wants me to be on call this weekend on float duty. The Coast Guard's been building floats this year instead of me building them all. The Coast Guard's been doing it. I don't know where they stand. Hopefully they're going to get it done so I don't have to do it. And then, of course, I have to participate in the parade. But Saturday, my wish is that I could go over to Brian's and hang these rafters. Maybe we could do it Friday or something like that. We got a nor'easter coming tomorrow, and it's going to wipe out tomorrow. It's going to be super windy. We're right on the border of getting snow and rain. It's really going to depend on the final track of that storm, whether we get a bunch of snow or whether we just get rain. Hopefully it's just rain, but after that, it's going to get frigid cold. So I want to get the inside of my house loaded with firewood, just in case we lose power for a few days or something like that. So that's going to be this afternoon's project. Firewood, clean up, get the mill put away, blown out. That Stella Cut band, guys, I tell you, they amaze me. And the wider that you're cutting, the more stable they are in the cut, because that those stellite inserts are the width of the full kerf. And they just go and go and go. It's absolutely phenomenal just to be able to come out here every day and just mow through whatever I want for a week or so and not have to worry about changing out a band. If I was running standard bands, if I was running a standard band, that log would have probably got it close to dull, just one log, even with as few cuts as I had to do. I mean, that total log, I had about 30 minutes of film time in that whole thing. You won't see it all because some of it will be fast forwarded. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There were 10 cuts total. And on a standard band, it would have pretty much wiped that. Those rafters alone are 240 board feet. It's 40 times 6. Yeah, 240 board feet in those rafters. And there are another probably 40 board feet in flitches over here. So all in all, it's about 300 board feet of wood on that one thing. Now maybe a band would have kind of survived that, but it wouldn't have been much good afterwards. It would have been like maybe one more big log would have been way more than a standard band could go. On that Stella Cut band, I could do this all week. I mean, I could cut those logs all week and it would just stay cutting. It's really amazing. But thanks for coming along for the ride, guys. It's with this weather and stuff, it's really hard for me to get out videos. And with trying to take care of the house. Good news. The person staying here did buy a house. I think you saw that in the last video. If you didn't see that in the last video, go back and watch it. And we went over and looked yesterday, and I introduced her to the wilderness area behind that new house she bought and all the trails out there. Back in the day, I used to live right behind her house in a condo, and I had 4 dogs, and I used to walk them out in those woods every single morning and every single night. So I kind of know all the trails out there, and it's miles and miles and miles of trails. And it just borders right up to her backyard. She's probably 500 yards from the condo through the woods, the condo that I rented up there for a short time when I moved back here from Florida. And she's ridiculously excited. The garage in the back is unbelievable. She got a great property. It's easy commute for her to her practice, and just a good thing. Happy days. So trying to keep the house warm while she's here. They close the end of December, so we still got another 4 weeks of keeping this house completely 100% warm up and down. And then come January, after she moves out to her new place, we will close the upstairs off and just be heating downstairs. So that'll take a little pressure off me, but I really got to keep working on firewood. The end of the week, we have to start working on some of these other orders. I got 9 more 2x10s to cut for one. I've got about 37 1x8s to cut for another one, and a bunch of 2x4s, but I have some 2x4s in stock, so we'll have to see what we can use out of our stock first, and then we'll cut the balance for them. Then we got a bunch of big white oak to cut, some 8x6 and some 6x6s and a 1x10. And we'll try to get that all out of the same log. I'm going to cut a long one. It's really the only good candidate I have for doing it. And we still have Mike Trotto's wood here that we have to cut through. Just Mike's in no hurry for it. I'm sure that he'll be happy that I haven't cut it yet and he doesn't have to come pay me for it. So that's all I got for you. We always appreciate the watch. Like, share, subscribe, guys. Give us a thumbs up if you like what we do. If you don't like what we do, give us a thumbs down. Any interaction's better than no interaction. Shoot us a message. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. Happy holidays from the Prophets here and Pirate Solutions Woodworking and Danny. And for now, Pirate Solutions out.